Howdy. We're down at the cabin, Columbus Day weekend. It's my favorite weekend of the year because you get that. Columbus Day weekend every year tends to be the peak for lease, so I always bring my family down. They don't come out during hunting season, so it's a good weekend for them to experience a little bit of the cold. We get to fire up the wood stove and all that type of stuff. And we brought down our new car, and I figured I'd talk about it just because. It's I don't talk about my cars normally. I tend to drive old vehicles. I had a 15-year-old Jeep Cherokee, and then now I have a 16-year-old Yukon that I drive. My wife needed to replace her minivan. The head gasket blew, the air conditioner was dead. It needed significant more work than it was worth. And I hate buying new cars. New car buying stinks. But we had a run of bad luck. We had all that stuff happen with the car. Dog died, cat died. I had to have one of my cameras repaired, and I wanted to have something I didn't have to worry about for a while. So I ponied up, and for the first time in 17 years, I bought a new car. And we shopped around for lots of different cars. And after test driving a ton of them, CRVs, Kia Soul, we were looking for something that was smaller, that got better gas mileage than the Grand Caravan. And my wife's predominantly a city driver, so we got decent city gas mileage. We ended up settling on the Subaru Crosstrek, which is a relatively new model. It's been out for 2 years. It's basically an Impreza. They raised 4 inches. It makes an awesome cabin car because it has about 8.9 inches of ground clearance, which is about the same as my Cherokee had. Granted, the Cherokee was just the pumpkin. This is the whole underneath is about 9 inches. So it's not apples to apples, but it has very good ground clearance for a small car. We're getting about 29 miles to the gallon, which is awesome. We were getting 14 with the Grand Caravan, because my wife drives in the city most of the time. On the highway, the Grand Caravan wasn't bad. Now, I'm not going to go over feature by feature. There's lots of great videos on YouTube for this particular car, but I'll go over the things that really, for me, were awesome. First of all, ground clearance was great. I already recorded a section with the trunk. It's much smaller than a Grand Caravan, so I left it packed and did a video last night, and I'll splice that in. All-wheel drive. We looked at the Kia Soul, which is nice and cheap, and everyone who has one seems to love them. For 18,000 or so, 19,000, it looks like a great car. My wife decided she wanted all-wheel drive, and so we started looking at things like the CRV and the RAV4, and I was trying to stay away from Chrysler. I've had a number of Chrysler. They always seem to have lots of issues. This is my first foreign car since my Honda Civic in college, which I got because it was cheap. This is the first foreign car we've actually chosen. So it is what it is. It's not an American car. But all-wheel drive was important to her. For me, a lot of the base models from things like the CRV had steel wheels, and I remember my Jeep, those all rusted out. I like these. These are nice. They're aluminum, and that comes on all their models. She has to drive an automatic. She can't drive a stick. So they all have CVTs now. You can love them or hate them. It is what it is. A lot of people complain about this one. It seems fine to me, but I don't have a lot of CVT experience to compare it to other CVTs. Horsepower-wise, it's 150 horse, which is a lot less than the minivan had, but the minivan weighed in at 4,800 pounds or something like that. So, it's adequate. A lot of people complain that it probably needs another 20 horse. For my wife, it's perfect. Now, for a family car, we have 2 kids. 2 kids fit in the back of this fine. We have the premium model, which unfortunately does not have the fold-down center armrest, which I wish it did. You have to go up to the limited, and I didn't want to pony up for the limited. My wife doesn't like leather either, so you can only get it when you step up to that next level. Which one area I was upset. I like that it comes with the roof racks. A lot of our cars, it was an option. We'll get the center bars and put a rack up here in time for, I won't stay up there all the time, but for trips. I said it's a Boxster 4, yeah, and it's adequate for what we do. Like I said, if we were to use this for towing, which I wouldn't have bought it if we were, it would probably be a little bit anemic. But we are going to put a hitch on it just for a luggage rack and bicycles and things like that for the kids, because we can no longer put bicycles inside the car like we had with the Grand Caravan. Yeah, it already got dirty. I woke up before dawn and went to take some pictures. Yeah, it's a Subaru. They're supposed to get dirty. Yes. My next door neighbor has a Subaru Legacy Outback, and comparing it to his, it's probably about, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it seems like it's probably about 4 to 6 inches narrower. And then the trunk on his, and this comes up to here, his probably comes an extra foot to 18 inches. So that's the difference in cargo space between the two of them. The first year model of this, people were having issues with oil consumption. That seems to be a 2013 issue. Hopefully we don't have that, but we don't have enough miles on it for me to say one way or the other. I like the fact that it's relatively basic. It's nice when you test drive a car and it has all these cool electronic doodads when it's brand new and they all work. But we tend to drive our cars for 10 plus years. And over time, all those electronic doodads stop working. On the minivan, the one door was starting to catch and not work as well, the power door. So this only has the rear view camera as far as kind of like little extra doodads. The Honda had it, which was really cool, the blind spot camera on the side. I don't know how much you'd use it, but it was a neat feature, but I can just see that breaking. This has heated seats, so it's one extra little thing. The first car with heated seats. Yeah, the dashboard, I'll bring you in for a second, is relatively plain. A lot of people complain that it's too plain. Coming from my Cherokee, my Yukon, and my wife's Grand Caravan, it's fine. It's awesome. So let me bring you inside, and we'll go over what I like and what we don't like about the inside, because there's always trade-offs. There's no perfect car. So, open up the trunk, the button right here, and let me adjust that. This is a weekend's worth of gear for us, and a lot of it has to do with my camera hobby. I have 2 camera bags in there, and that takes up a lot of space. Then my wife packs her laundry basket full of stuff, has all of her clothes. I have one knapsack on the left with my clothes. My kids had their stuff in the back seat with them because they wanted it up there for some weird reason, but there was actually room on top for it. And then I have one rifle that fits across the base. So if you're wondering if a small car like this will fit a rifle, in a soft case it will. And if I have my hard cases, I would need to put one of the seats down. So it's something to consider. If you're trying to transport 2 or 3, they would all need to be in soft cases. And normally I would combine them in a hard case if I was taking more than one. But before I unpacked it, I wanted to give you an idea. We're going to put a trailer hitch on the back for additional luggage space and a roof rack, so that if you really wanted to load it down, this has a towing capacity of 1,500 pounds and a tongue weight of 200. So for putting luggage on the back, it'd be perfect. Which I'm never planning on towing anything real on this. This would just be for putting like a luggage rack on the tail on it. Tomorrow, when the lighting is better, I will I'll do my overview of the vehicle. We've had it for about a week now. Okay, I'm in the driver's seat here. From the driver's seat perspective, I like the infotainment system. It's easy to use. Doesn't seem to be a lot of glare on it when I'm using it. I like the controls. They're manual for the HVAC. for the air conditioning and heating, but I don't have a problem with that. We've never had an automatic one yet, so it's nothing new. Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of the control buttons up here for resetting the gas display, which shows up on the in the area above. I cut the video out so I could hopefully get you to see. Up in here, it gives you your gas mileage, clock, and temperature, thermometer, and all that type of stuff. I don't like the control for it being way up here. If you want to change your display, you have to reach through the steering wheel or off to the side. Not my favorite. You know, the triptych's on the other side. I don't have a problem where that is. You only reset that usually when you're at the gas station, so I don't have a problem with that. The dash in general, I like the display. Yeah, it gives you everything you need. I'd like to see more gauges, temperature gauge, battery voltage gauge, and things like that. But I can live with that. My wife wouldn't care one way or the other. I don't believe her Grand Caravan had them. I know hers had a temperature gauge at least, so fewer gauges. You know, she doesn't care about the RPM at all. So yeah, but it's got paddle shifters. She'll never ever use those. I think, yeah, paddle shifters, because it's one of those tipped. They used to call it Tiptronic in a couple companies. Like this Subaru calls it something else. Yeah, she's never going to use any of those features. If you're towing, I suppose you might want to use it to better control what RPM you're at. But it's a CVT, so it's kind of doing fake shifts. Seems funny. Cup holders in the front are fine. They have 2 in the door and 2 in the center console, and I can't show them to you because I'm way too close to them. The controls for the everything is laid out well. And we test drove a lot of cars where they got rid of the volume knob, which we hated because you had to use the LCD, which means you have to take your hands off the wheel unless you're going to use the wheel mounted ones. My wife doesn't tend to use the wheel mounted ones, so she would reach and have to look at the LCD screen. It's when you don't have to. It has a CD player. A lot of cars have omitted those. We don't have a lot of CDs, but some people might, so that might be important to you. Ours came with the remote car starter. I don't have it on my keychain because I probably won't use it. I just left one in the house, and my wife has one on her keychain. It's a factory one. We didn't order this car. This is the one they had on the lot. The car is relatively popular, and you can't be too picky, at least in our neck of the woods, because there's just not a lot of them. They have 1 or 2 at most dealers around us. So yeah, we compared it to things like the Honda HR-V, which even has fewer. Yeah, our local Honda dealer had 3 the one time we test drove one, and they were nice. We came back a week later and they didn't have any. It would be another month before they got more. So it's relatively popular. I guess this class of cars is supposed to be very popular. From the interior, I like the fact that that glass up front, in front of the mirror, is there. It gives you nice visibility in that front corner. From the driver's perspective. The mirrors are heated, which is nice. We could get one more thing to break, but I already looked up and these mirrors aren't particularly expensive to replace. As long as the painting portion doesn't come off, and then I would just probably replace them with all black. So let me go to the back seat. I'll tell you what we really didn't like compared to other cars, or with all these cars in general. So let's go to the back. Okay, from the outside going in, these floor mats are stupid. We'll be putting better ones in. They only cover the very bottom, so the rest of the carpet will get trashed. And this came with winter ones. We'll never use those. I'm going to sell those on eBay. I'm going to get like the WeatherTechs that come up the side and protect the carpeting better. Yeah, it's a new car. You want to keep it clean. The seats on this are all manual. And I think the entire Crosstrek line, they're all manual. From the inside here, like I said, 2 cup holders. These are a little awkward to touch, but they're adequate for the heat. Heated seats. This isn't half bad. We have the storage, and inside there is USB and the 12-volt adapter. It's a little small, you know, especially because we're coming from a Grand Caravan. Into the back, what we really don't like with this whole class of cars is a lack of cup holders, which seems so stupid. But if you have kids and you're going on a road trip with them, you know, they have the door cup holders in each door, but there's no center cup holder at all. There should be one coming out of the console. That's just where it should be. And you know, I might just add some there because it's stupid that they don't exist. I would like it better if they all came with the fold down armrest in the center. We have 2 kids, and if you have 2 kids, they probably bicker in the back seat. Having a divider helps. So compared to the Honda, the fold in the floor or the fold down seats in the Honda HR-V are better, CR-V are better, because the seat can fold forward or fold up. They call it a magic seat or something like that, and it gives you more storage options in the center section. They come down nicer. They're dampened, so when you release them, you can release them from the trunk, and you can release these from the trunk too. You just got to grab up to here, and you can bring them forward. Like I said, I had video from the trunk from last night, but let's go ahead while it's empty, or emptier. This comes with black liner with our model, so it's got a black liner on the bottom, and it fits into a black liner on the back of the seats, and it catches in with a bungee type cord. We also have the privacy cover, but I took it out for this trip so that I could fit everything in. In the back, you have one light here, multiple tie downs all over the place. Spare tire, which not all cars have nowadays, is underneath. The back tailgate feels a bit light and not very. I'm used to the Grand Caravan's tailgate was heavy, so I'm used to that kind of girth and weight. This one feels lighter. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, it feels like it should be more substantial, but yeah, it's a tailgate. Stepping back, it has good access. You do have to lift things up a little bit higher because there's 9 inches of ground clearance, and there's a bit of a lip into the storage area in the back. But we are going to put a trailer hitch, and even though it looks like there's a knockout for a trailer hitch there, no trailer hitch goes in that slot. So I have no idea what that slot knockout is for. I think I read something maybe in European models it was for trailer hitch, but not the US models. Yeah, I don't know. But so we'll put a trailer hitch on this so you can put bicycles and stuff on the back. So that's kind of about it. Like I said, I'm not driving this around. There's lots of videos if you want to see CRVs. If you want to see Crosstreks driving and hear people who do this for a living, you know, they'll complain that it's slow. The 0 to 60 time is like 9.5 seconds. It's adequate. You know, I'm coming from an actual owner. Yeah, we've driven it now. For 2 weeks, taking it on the highway, taking it down to the cabin. It feels fine. The reviewers are going to say it should have more horsepower. They might complain about the transmission. The CVT, because it has a tendency to ride a little bit high. They call it the rubber band effect. I don't know. It's fine. It works. As a family car, especially for people in the country, in the Northeast especially, or any place where it's snowy, who want decent gas mileage, this thing is awesome. Good ground clearance. Subarus are known for being good winter cars. It's excuse me. Without stepping up to a larger car and the cost with that, because cars are freaking expensive. I'm appalled, but it is what it is. Yeah, this is it's a good family car for people who have a need for all-wheel drive, and if you don't need the additional height and all that, you can go with the Impreza. It's exactly the same, just lower. But I think in a country scenario with dirt roads, here I can drive up the ledge over there if I feel like it. it's not a big ledge, it's only about 4 to 6 inches, but this thing here won't bottom out like a minivan would. So this is probably long enough of just me talking. Yeah, we're first new car since 1998. Been a while, and damn, are they expensive. But hopefully we'll have it for at least 10 years, and it'll still have been expensive. But I just want reliable. That's all I really want. Reliable and a decent gas mileage. Something my wife, there's something that's not breaking down and causing problems for my wife. My car breaks down. It is what it is. I can deal with it. I can fix it. I fix my own car half the time. Depends on what's wrong with it. With her car, I just need it to be reliable. So, yeah. Anyone who's found this video who doesn't watch my channel regularly, I am not a car reviewer. Go to somebody else's channel and check their stuff out. We get the full specs and the details on this car. So, until next time, thanks for watching.